dictionaries are allowed, you will have 20 multiple choice questions, 4 choices per question. No marks will be deducted for wrong answers, which means that anyone should get at least 5 marks in that session. Okay. There will be a session B which consists of 8, which counts for 80% of the examination, and you must answer all questions in session B. I'll show you an example of the question later. For revision guidelines, it would be too much if I ask you to read the textbook and the reference book. It would be too much if I ask you to read all the chapters that I taught. It shouldn't be too much if I only ask you to read only some selected parts in some selected chapters of one book, right? And the readings should be guided by my notes. Okay. So the students should read relevant chapters in the main textbook as guided by the slides. Okay, so I will not, in the revision, I will be talking on a slide-by-slide basis. That would not be appropriate. Instead, I will be talking about topics. Okay? So for the selected chapters, they focus only on the ones covered by the slides. Should you memorize the cases I mentioned? The answer is not. Okay, you don't have to remember that. Okay, Tupperware, what is Tupperware about? The Yankees video, what is it about? Okay, you don't have to memorize all those things, but you should realize what is covered in that case. Okay, the name itself does not matter. Okay, in what year does it happen? Does not matter. Exact percentages, okay, as a result of using database, how many percent of sales was increased, again, it will not be required. So basically, you are not required to memorize the names of companies and years and percentages. However, if you include some well-known cases, okay, such as if you tell me that you cannot memorize Walmart or Welcome or Taste, okay, that's too bad, right? If you cannot memorize those names. Or hotels like Hilton, you cannot memorize those, that would be too bad. Oh, diagrams. Okay, throughout the course, I have used a lot of diagrams, but for the students, there's no need for you to draw diagrams. If you draw diagrams, it will be for your own benefit. Okay, normally I will not explicitly ask my students to draw diagrams. In case you draw diagrams, I will treat as if they are not there. Okay, but I will not deduct marks. I will not say that you draw some diagrams there, it is not tidy. I will not do anything like that. So please use some diagrams to help yourself to organize your answers. But the diagrams themselves do not form part of the answer. Okay. So diagrams should not be too large. The diagrams should not be need not to be too beautiful. The case, and again, the cases and the examples are to be understood rather than memorized. Also applies to product names and brands. For example, when you talk about databases, you don't have to know, okay? Oracle is a database brand, you don't have to know. MySQL, Microsoft Access, you don't have to know, but at least you should know databases, right? Databases, database management systems, structured query language. Okay? You do not need to know MySQL, but at least you should know SQL. I mean the name, what does it stand for? I talked about it in Alaska Airlines. Okay, I also drew some SQL examples. So you should have the idea that SQL is some kind of language for queries and it's difficult to use. So you should have that concept. This is not a technical course, so the exact technology standards need not be memorized. For example, what's the range of the Wi-Fi standard? How many meters? The 802.8, how many meters? 150. How is it different than 802.11g? Okay, so there's no need to memorize all that. You need to know the major difference, like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Are they different? They are different, right? Of course, you use it almost every day, so it should be easy. So that's the format. There will be no case questions. There will be no long case questions, so you will not be required to read 2 pages and then answer some questions. It will not be like that. So what will the questions like? Let me show you one example, one possibility. This is one possibility. Like this is, you can find it on your own. This is from the CPC library, from the exam papers database. This is no secret. Okay, everyone can go to the CPC library online and find it. I just did this in 2 minutes. Okay, so this is question 3 in one of the exams. A supermarket has been losing customers to its competitors. The company tried the following, but the trend of losing customers do not change. Okay, and I also said, well, actually, I think this is one of the tutorial questions, isn't it? Yes, this is one of the. So I said all these things, including online games, Facebook, lucky draw, surveys. So the question is, explain how the company can make use of obtain some useful information from the existing data in the company's loyalty program. Again, I listed all the above. Some students may argue the company did not do a good job in using Facebook pages. Okay, I am going to improve the Facebook page. I'm going to, instead of YouTube, I'm going to use Toudao and whatever, and PPS. It's all wrong, okay? The question asks you how to obtain some useful information from the existing data in the company's loyalty program. So it's very clear. Forget about the surveys. Forget about web. Forget about all those. Okay, concentrate on obtaining useful information from the existing data in the company's loyalty program. Okay. I put down all these things to help you so that you will not mention all these things again. Okay? I mean, you can still mention it. You can still mention loyalty, of course. You can still mention discounts. You can still mention Facebook, but it should be mentioned in the light of using existing data in the loyalty program. So that will be what the question may look like. There may be some short questions like this one. Identify, that would be easy, right? Identify and disrupt 2 major enterprise applications. Okay. Identify and explain the benefits and challenges of enterprise systems. Okay. That would be another type of questions. This would be easy. So for this it may be SCM, it can be CRM, it can be ERP. Okay. So if you want to know more, if you want to see more, you can go to CEC library and you can look at the past exam papers. I think today we should use our time better to look at what we have covered so far. So let's start with lesson 1. As I said before, I will not be going through the slides one by one. That will be not a good way because some of the slides are related. As I said before, you don't have to memorize, let's say, Yankees Stadium. Okay, it's not a stadium in Hong Kong, there's no need, but you have to remember that it uses a lot of modern technologies to have to attract the audience back to the stadium. And this one, the main topic here is, of course, the 6 objectives. The 6 objectives. In fact, many of you have mentioned it in your group project, although I don't think it's a very good idea. But some groups chose to do it, some groups did it better than the others. So the main idea in lesson 1 are the 6 objectives. The 6 objectives. IT can help to achieve in business, the 6 objectives. Of course, if you look at the slides, then some of them are examples. Some students may say, well, there are a lot of slides, but look at this. This one just explains what a dashboard is, right? This just explains what a mobile dashboard is. So you count the number of slides, there may be many, okay? But a lot of them are illustrations, examples. Like this one is rather empty. Okay, this one explains input and output and so on. So focus on the 6 objectives, I would say. Focus on the 6 objectives. That's the quickest way to explain the main point in lesson 1, the 6 objectives. What about the other parts of lesson 1 and the other things that we do not cover today? Well, maybe they appear in the MCs. Maybe. Everything is accessible. Everything. Okay, there must be a way to find out who are the students who really read the book, who really study hard. Okay. Yes, Tupperware, that's the company I mentioned, okay? Tupperware. So basically, it has a very complex sales system, okay? A sales consultant can recruit other sales consultants, and the sales consultant recruited by the first consultant can recruit other sales consultants, and so on. And the money made by the lowest level of sales should be calculated in commission to that salesperson, but also to the higher level sales consultant and higher and higher and higher. Okay, so it's complicated. You will not be asked to describe the complexity, but you have to appreciate that commission systems can be very complicated and IS can be helpful. Now there are a few major concepts here. The 4 major business functions, you should know them by heart. I suggest when you study this, you should be able to draw this diagram yourself, this circle. Okay. This circle here, and sales and marketing, manufacturing production, human resources, and accounting and finance. So say this 3 times every night you go to sleep, and then you'll get very good. The 5 basic business entities, SPIES, well, I use it a lot. Okay, so next time you go to a restaurant, when you add some pepper, then you remember SPIES. The business diagrams, okay, you can forget about this. I will not, as I said before, I will not ask you to draw diagrams. So don't mind so much about the diagrams. But you should know the 3 levels. The 3 levels in the firm that business needs. Of course, this corresponds to the TPS, MIS, and ESS, and also DSS. There's 3, 4, and 5, right? The 3 levels of management, the 4 major functions, and the 5 basic entities, the 3, the 4, and 5. Okay? The rest are illustrations. Okay? Diagrams like this, you have drawn a lot, you have seen a lot, and some groups have drawn it themselves. So it should help you to understand what it is about. You will not be required to draw diagrams again. Okay, you will not be required to draw diagrams like this. So that's lesson 2, very quickly. Lesson 3 is about competitive forces and strategies. What model do we use to describe the competitive forces in an industry? The Porter's 5-force model, right? So you should know about the 5-force model, especially the influence of IS, influence of Internet on the 5 forces. When you look at the group projects, many groups did correctly stated the competitive forces in an industry, but they have forgotten to talk about the influence of IS. Okay, so important to state the competitive forces. Many groups, they state that they are always using like the same point when they talk about the rivalry or the competition among the competitors. Many people will say that, well, the customers can